I would say literally, man, you have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to take risks. People are too afraid to take risks. But I think I'm living proof that if I can do it by 22, I think most of the people I know that's way older than me in Sweden can do it too.
Are we ready? I think, cut to his camera for a second. I think we want to bring your mic down just so it doesn't block your, that looks good. Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah, it looks better on camera. Yeah, I can hear you good. You can adjust it as you can play. Just get comfortable as you go. Like by the end, I'm kind of sitting like this. Get comfortable because these couches get slippery, but just,
I have a bad rotation in my neck. It's so hard for me to because I have a bad accident.
From driving. Fucking.
No, not from driving. From actually walking and a taxi hit me.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready, Hans?
Good, yeah, recording.
Okay, ready? Okay, welcome to Fruiting Body Podcast with your host, Brendan. We are here in Phuket, Thailand, and we are a medicinal mushroom company. This is our product. We don't know when it's coming out. We're going to guess maybe another 6 months. We're way too wrapped up in NFTs, and I've had COVID for 2 months, so I'm pretty fucked up. We took last week off, but we're back this week, and we have an absolute special guest that is living on the island of Phuket. I cannot reveal his name or his identity too much, and we're going to find out why. This episode is for everyone that wants to understand a little bit of getaway driving, and as we talk to our guest, we'll cut to some clips on YouTube, and he'll explain that in a little bit more detail. So, without further ado, let's get this shit started. All right. We're not going to mention his name, but first, thanks a lot for joining us today. Actually, he reached out to me maybe 2 months ago or something like that. Before we jump into your story, how did you even find me? Just maybe.
I think it came up as a commercial on Instagram, man.
Okay. Yeah, I was doing some sponsored ad. I was just to push it a little bit. You know, I put $100 here or there and
it's
just
good.
get the idea. Yeah. Okay, so we'll jump right into his story because that last question was shit, but we're going to jump into the story. So he's coming from Sweden, Stockholm? From Stockholm.
Southside of Stockholm.
And it's a really long, I think it's going to be one of our best podcasts so far. And we're going to start right from the beginning. So tell us a little bit about your childhood and how that all connected to this getaway driving and what that whole scene is about.
So I'm born in 1999 in the south part of Stockholm, in a small place. Grown up in a middle upper class family, going to school as a regular kid. I think I dropped out by school by 12.
12 years old.
Yeah, 12 years old. That's the last time I saw school, man. Jump out of school. Came into, not foster care, but I was doing time in, do you say child custody?
Foster care, child custody, yeah.
Yeah, you know, when you, how do you say, when you slip out of your family and you're doing stuff that's not meant for you to do in that age.
Yeah.
So you're taking care from your family. Yeah.
See, even living in Asia, my vocabulary, I start to lose words too. Like now I don't even speak English sometimes.
It's not easy for me, man.
I know what you're saying, yeah. So you slipped out around 12. Can you give some backstory behind that? Like, how did that all come together? Like, even for myself, I wasn't the best kid in school. I was constantly getting expelled or suspended, but I won't go into those details. But on your side, how did you get into that lifestyle at such a young age?
Well, I think first of all, my dad has not been around much when I was a child. So I think that was a part of me not having like the man role controlling me, you know, to put me in place what I should do and not to do. So when I slip out of school, which I didn't find myself comfortable sitting at the table and doing school stuff, you know.
Yeah, I got you.
So my, how do you say it? Like my role was more like gangster rap and those kind of things you saw on YouTube even back like 2006 when you got access to a computer in my age and you saw like these rap videos or, you know, like stuff on the internet that's felt like much more of a thing for you to like than school, you know. So I think that was a big part. And yeah, school was not for me, man.
So did you fall into like an older crowd that kind of,
Oh
pushed you
yeah,
in a different direction?
most definitely. You started to when you start to leave like the how do you say when you start to leave the school and you start to hang out with other people from other places. Maybe you start to hang out with people older than you, and you're getting thrown into a corner where you're starting to behave like other people in the
Yeah.
same position as you. You start to hang out with people doesn't go to school, taking drugs and starting to do things early in life. And you're trying same as them.
Yeah, you're influenced also by that community you're involved
Especially
in.
when they're older and when you need someone to be older than you to control you, like your dad.
Yeah.
Most definitely, I would need a dad role in my household. Yeah,
And do you have brothers and sisters as well?
I have one little sister. Yeah.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
were kind of, again, you didn't have that influence to kind of
Oh,
push
no.
you in that direction.
Nah,
So you look up to the older guys in the community.
for sure.
Now, but like you're saying, you're still coming from an upper middle class.
Oh yeah, of course. I had love. I had care of my family. My dad was actually traveling and working overseas, actually in Thailand. That's funny.
Yep.
So my mom was the only one in the household. Yeah, but I didn't have much other family than that. My parents had me very late, so I think most of my family is already pretty old. Like I don't know the word in English, but cousins and stuff.
Yeah.
Don't have so much.
You were they were already,
Yeah.
graduated or
Yeah,
families.
yeah.
It's kind of all you. Now, when you stepped into that community, you said, now we were speaking like, they were potentially doing illegal stuff, selling drugs and this and that. Do you have any story?
I think that the drugs came in the picture around, I think I tried smoke weed when I was like 11, 12, or like cigarettes even back at like 9 or 8 years old at school, So that was like the first warning signal, I think, from teachers and stuff about cigarettes. Or it's the whole thing. You start to dress different, you start to think different, you don't go to your lessons. It's called lessons, right?
Your classes.
Oh yeah, your classes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the drugs came in the picture when after child custody. I don't think it's called child custody, man.
I know. I can't even remember.
It's not called prison either. It's called
No.
when you've been taken away to a place where other kids with the same issues is being
Juvie?
treated.
juvie.
Juvenile.
That's
That's the word, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
When I
that's
was I was in juvie for like 2.5 years.
Here, is it loud for you or is it just loud for me? Is he okay? Maybe take your mic and push it a bit
What
away.
about now?
Bring it away. Bring it to like here and then down and then up and then out a bit. I think that's good.
This?
Yeah, perfect. So
Cool.
it's always hard because some people talk louder than others and some people
Oh,
are
I
softer.
understand. I think it's because I hear myself. That's why maybe I'm not
That's
talking
perfect.
so loud.
I can hear you
Okay,
now.
okay.
Or maybe mine. These are mine. Testing. Okay, better. All right. And yeah, we're good. All right, we're back. Technical. We're always adjusting here. So you're in juvenile, and explain that experience and kind of how that took you to what you were this getaway driver stuff.
Okay, so I remember like it was what can it be, like November, I think. It was like 9 in the morning. I wake up, have 2 policemen standing in my bedroom. The social has been writing a arrest order for me to be taken to a juvenile about 2 hours from where I was living. So they tell me in the police car, I'm scared shitless, man. Back when I was 12,
Yeah, man. Of course.
Yeah. So they tell me in the car, you're just gonna be away for a weekend. So I say, fuck this. As soon as we arrive, I'm gonna just dip out. I'm gonna walk home, whatever it takes. I'm not gonna stay here, My mom also follows in a car behind. We come to the place. They put me in like the how do you say it? The care people, the people who work there. They come, introduce me, and I say later away like, fuck you. I'm not gonna stay here. I'm gonna dip out. And they say, if you do that, the cop's gonna come back and arrest you and put you back and this and that. So I think their method was just like putting out to threatening me, to scare me, and it worked for sure because I never bail out. I stayed all my time, never bail. I was there for about 1.5 years. The 5 last month I got to spend inside Stockholm City. I remember first night I was really scared, man. When I was 12, I think the other kids that I was doing time with there had much bigger issues than I had. For me, it was more about I didn't find school any interesting for me, and I was not a bad kid in overall, I was not like beating up someone for no reason or like misbehaving to my family members. It was more about I just slipped out of the lane, the right lane.
And those school systems, they're forcing you. You need to be going to school. You need to.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is Sweden is, we have like a very weird way of doing the school in Sweden. I would say so, at least. I think we don't have so many people who work in the school area who has too much knowledge about how to maybe
give direction to the kids.
Yeah.
So in this juvie, did you meet any kids along the way that kind of took you on this path, or did you learn from this?
Oh
did it
yeah,
help?
of course. You tried some, like, how do you say it, small drugs inside there. Like you tried I would say crack. You tried to smoke a little bit of crack. You tried to snort shit up in your nose, those stupid things. You smoke weed and cigarettes. I remember someone had brought like a bottle of alcohol, because some kids who was good behaving got to go home on the weekend. Okay, so some of them have older brothers, or they had like a drunk father home, and they got to take like something when they didn't see, like steal something, and they smuggle into the juvie. So that was like the happy times when you get to try something.
And you're in there for a year and a half, and from there, once you get out, did you get sent back home, and what happened next?
The last 5 months when I got to the other place in Southside Stockholm, I actually was so good behaving, so they let me go home on the weekend. Like I get to sleep home on the weekend, and then I go back to the juvie inside Stockholm and doing like school every day, because the first year I said no, I'm not going to go to school. And I remember my lawyer told me, he was honest, he said, if you want to go to school here, they're going to trap you here for a long time. And I wanted to go home, So I was just doing what I was doing, like keeping me for myself, just doing things behind the back of the workers, I never fighting or nothing like that, never destroy anything, just try to behave as good as possible.
But still being strategic as well.
Oh, yeah, of course, because I had a plan. I need to get out, you know. And I remember when you're inside a place for so long and you feel mistreated, because to be honest, I didn't have to go there, man. That's my point of view. That's my family's point of view, close friends to my family. Because as I told them, I'm not a bad kid, but that place made me bad. That place made me bad.
Yeah, because you're going to learn a lot from other kids that were...
yeah, of course. And you try so many things in the early age, so it's like you won't have an end of what you're going to try. You're just going to keep doing more and more stuff.
It kind of introduced you to a lot of things that maybe you wouldn't have seen if you didn't get put there
for sure. And it also builds up a large amount of heat, anger inside you for like government and that kind of thing,
Yeah, especially maybe being around the wrong people as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
So did that after you got out, I'm assuming now you're like 13, 14.
I think I was just turning 13 when I was in the place.
Yeah.
The first year. So I was turning 13, so I was about 15 when I got out, yeah.
And what was next for you after that? Is this how this...
I still remember the first day when I walked out of the parking lot, I was feeling like a free man, dude. Literally, you feel like you have been doing time for so long and you haven't been able to do what you want to do. And I think in that age, it's actually important to experience good things, not to like in that way. Like being locked away from your family and not be able to see like your school friends, or I couldn't even see friends from my old school, nothing.
When you came back home, did you come back home at this point?
Yeah, I came back home.
And how did your friends look at you at this point? Were you able to still stay in touch with them, or are you kind of their parents?
By that time, I cut all contact with all previous friends of my past life. I was only hanging out with like the people who was bad before I came in. So they were already growing worse. You understand? So they were already like tidying up for worse things until I get out. And I was just catching up, So, yeah.
What was the next part of that story, and when you're actually getting introduced to the getaway driving? How did this all connect and come together?
Oh, man. So the same year, I started to actually save money from selling stuff.
And let's make it clear to the audience that we're going to be discussing your involvement with this getaway drivers. We'll cut to some YouTube clips. We'll talk about this underground society and what's going on there. But let's just make it clear that you were not a driver, you were not involved, but you were around the community. We got to make this clear so everyone understands that he's not a driver. He's not part of the gang. It's more he was part of the community. That's and right. He's going to explain a little bit about what's going on in that underground community.
That's right.
Yep.
So I start to save money. I've always been caught up. No, not caught up. I always been chasing money. That's been my thing. So I start to save money. I try to make a plan how to make more money. I went online and I bought a broken car. I knew a friend that time. I was already hanging out with people who were liking cars, you know. It's always been around cars. So I knew one friend who was a good mechanic. He was a little bit older than me, like 3 or 4 years older than me. So when he just turned 18, we could drive the cars, you know. So I bought a broken car, we fixed it, we put it online, and we make like triple our money. So he wanted a small cut. I got the big cut because I invested. I was the only guy who had the money. No one else had money by that time. So from there, we started to buy more cars until I even had so much money, I could rent like a small workshop, like in the woods almost, even more south from where I was living. So we started to buy cars, we started to fix them, and then we sold them. Even to that point that I made some good connections about people who were high up in the industry of selling high-end cars. So I managed to buy a car called BMW E60 M5 with 507 horsepower original. Mine was chipped and tuned a little bit, so I had 520 horsepowers. Absolute beast. I cannot even control it at the beginning.
At that age, you probably don't even know how to drive this thing.
No, man. But even in early age, since we all were so hooked up with cars, we would, in our living rooms, we had like my friend's place, like this rally steering wheel where you can drive, you know, of a TV game. So even in the early days, we started to, how do you say it?
Practice or get involved. But you're doing it more in the virtual world.
Yeah, because you want to drive fast in real life also, you know, but we don't have like speed tracks where you can go and drive on. So it has to be the street. And so I remember like street racing was the first thing what you could encounter in that age. As you see like people stop on the road, everyone is getting out of the cars, and then you see two cars in the middle, crowd around them, and then they start to like spin the wheels and then go away, you know. And that was like, you want to do something similar, you know. So I remember when I was a really small kid, it was this series called Getaway in Stockholm where they were driving like Porsche, Ferraris. They drove everything back in like early 2000, the late 90s with like old cameras. And they drove from the cops inside Stockholm City and those kind of things. And that was the plan, you know. You wanted to do something similar like that. So I bought this car. My friend said, I can drive from the cops. My friend, who was the mechanic, so we were really tight. He said he could drive. We didn't have any cameras. We filled the car I think we filled like half tank, half gas up in the car. We drove on to like the main highway in Stockholm, and the result is between 10 to 15 cars in the mirrors everywhere with blue lights. It was like a fucking Christmas tree in the back, and I was seeing like 15, almost turning 16 years old. I was so hyped, like screaming in the car, and he's just seeing like an ice cold killer and driving. Don't even look at me, don't even look anywhere. He's so focused. And that was like, I even get goosebumps now. That was something different.
It's like losing your virginity for the first time. That's that first pop. But when you did this was the first time this happened? Yeah?
This was the first time it happened.
Did you have any plan or strategy when you got started? You're just like, fuck it, let's go and see what happens.
The biggest thing that I regret today is that we didn't have any cameras. And that's what I learned with the years. When you're doing this, if you're going to drive from the cops, always make sure to have camera. Because people is never going to believe it, and you're never going to have any proof about this.
What is the motivation or incentive for this type of racing? Is it pure pure adrenaline rush?
Yeah.
There's no monetary gain.
No.
I mean, yeah, you get your video on YouTube, but that's not the point, is it?
I think that's just a proof to get like a good scene. But the main thing why we do it is because you want adrenaline.
So let's pull that up, because I want to then jump back into like the underground scene and understanding how that all operates. But I guess, Hans, do you want to just quickly cut to one of the videos just to give people an idea of what we are talking about? Because it isn't, that you can cut back and explain that a bit. This is not street racing. This is
No,
completely different.
This is I would say street drifting, including with Getaway as well.
So what are we watching here?
So here we're watching my car driving inside Stockholm City.
Okay. And so this is the beginning. Are you guys like actively looking around for like the police?
Like we see here, we find the cops now. So now
Okay.
we want to do something fun. We have about 3 to 4 cameras, GoPros each time on the car.
Yeah.
And this clip actually got very famous on Facebook. But the funny thing is, when the cops see us here, they already know who is behind the wheel. They know who's in the passenger seat. They know who put the cameras on. They know everything already.
But they know, meaning like they can come knock on your door, they know, or they
Literally,
know.
but they don't have any proof.
Gotcha. Is that freezing?
That's why you see they're not going to chase us now. The only thing they do now is they're reporting around to the other patrolling vehicles around this area. So all of them know, okay, they're coming now from this and this place. So the only thing you can go is try to block the road somewhere. That
And
ain't gonna work.
how do you guys plan for that? Because do you have police scanners?
No, we got nothing. This is pure, how do you say it? It's just gambling, man. It's just trying. We're just trying to find them. Some days when we try to record, we don't even find them. It can be that bad. We know some spots they stand, they have their coffee break, but some days they're not even there. We tried everything.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, this is the third movie. Then we have the first movie and the second movie. The cops know this for a long time.
And right now, so it's again, you kind of just get rolling, and now you're still looking for
We're
the
going to
cops.
see the cops now.
They're coming now,
Yeah.
right?
You're going to see them
Oh,
now.
that's probably them back there with and then they'll toss on the blue lights. Fast forward maybe a bit. And which car is this?
BMW E60 M5.
Okay, so this is that first car that you
Yeah.
the five.
Well, actually, it's not my first
here
car.
we go.
But
So
this
now
is the
you're in the
first high-end
tunnel.
car. This is also.
Okay, let's
famous
watch
clip
this
on
here.
YouTube.
Yeah, I saw this clip you were showing
Yeah.
it to me. So it's funny. Why don't they turn the lights on right now anyway?
Dude, the police love this. I can tell you. Every Christmas, we drop one DVD movie with the how do you say it? The official label and everything in the police mailbox where we live.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they watch it on the coffee break. They fucking love it.
They probably want to be involved in the chase a little bit too.
Man, they love to chase. This is so funny. They love to chase.
Have
They
you
love to
ever
chase.
had a conversation with them or heard from people that have talked to the cops about like these situations and their feedback on it?
Well, I remember one cop that I had some encounters with.
Okay, that's good. You can cut that off. Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
guy was actually a car fan himself, this cop. And I think he had like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years in service. I remember my car was not legally to drive since I had like summer tires on, winter time, and my plates was off. So the cops pull me over and they say, you cannot continue driving the car from here. You have to tow it.
Yeah.
So while the cops are towing it, they tell me to wait in the car with him. So he's sitting in the front seat and I sit in the back seat. And he looks back at me and say like, dude, that's a good fucking car, I said. And then I asked him what car he drive himself, and he was driving like a Subaru or something. And he say that he's really a big fan of high speed chases. So he know already.
He probably, and we would call like I guess. Do you have the term in this industry we call the white whale? Meaning like there's that one guy the cops are looking for.
You mean if that's me?
No, not if that's you, but just in general, like the cops, like they have someone on their radar that like, we're going after, we've been looking for this guy. It doesn't even need to be in Sweden, anywhere in the world. But is there like a term in your industry for that
I
type
think,
of person?
Yeah. I think we all in the group have been in that position.
Okay.
You get pulled over every day. Even if it's not about this, they check you for drugs, they check you for everything. If you're sober, like they check on you every day. As soon as you buy a new car and they find you, it's like, fuck, they know now my new registration plate. You understand?
So if they see that car anywhere in the streets, they're pulling
They're
it
gonna
over.
pull you over as soon as they see you. But with that car, if you drive with cameras on and no plates, they're not gonna drive.
Yeah, so immediately you've taken the plates off anyways. And
Because they're not gonna stop you then.
yeah, they know.
But the other side is we want them to come. So sometimes we even drive with my plates. But then they just straight go home to my house and they wait.
Ah, shit. So now, would you have the plates already in the car so that you can kind of put
Oh
them
yeah,
back?
for sure. I actually had the plate never on with screws. I had it in the window.
Okay.
Yeah, and you say, oh, the back must have been lost. Yeah.
Now, anyone looking, I'm assuming this community, it's still going, it's still active. If people
It's still active in some ways, yeah. It's one guy who is continue doing these things. This is this was recorded many years ago, 2015.
Yeah.
The guy who is doing it now is, how do you say it? I would say he stole it a little bit.
The idea.
We also work with the guy, but I have no comments on that.
Yeah.
And my involvement with him and how do you say it? The partnership about work with doing movies, I was already leaving Sweden by that time, so I have nothing to say about that.
Do any companies reach out to you for sponsorship?
Yeah, we had actually, I wouldn't say we, because back in the second movie and the first movie, the guy behind the scenes, Mr. Highway himself, had sponsorships from like small, like car styling companies or like to shade your windows. How do you say it?
Tint.
Yeah. Tint companies or like you wrapping companies about wrap color on your car and stuff. Yeah.
This guy, so you mentioned Mr. Highway.
Mr. Highway. He's the guy behind the production from the first movie to the third one. Yeah.
And they're still working and they're still operating. And this
it's actually rumors that the fourth movie is gonna come.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that primarily still being run by these people?
I have no comments.
Okay. What if people were looking to get involved in that? Because again, this is Sweden. Did you get involved into other European countries, or is it kind of? Are you working with other people?
I remember before the third movie released, it's about, I think we have three main drivers in the third movie. One Mercedes C63, we have one Audi RS4, and we have my car. We had some like thoughts that we should do Getaway in like France, Germany, Spain, Norwegian, Denmark, but in the same way, we always know that some cops in other places can be much worse. And literally, the last biggest chase we had with my car was actually used pure fun entertainment. It actually ended up with my car being taken by the police for 2 months. Because I would say the driver had to run away from the car. It was that bad. It was so many cops. We had like, they pull out the spikes on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had like everywhere in the roads, on the tires.
Yeah, it's like that game Need for Speed.
So they took it. they took the car for 2 months. The car was so fucked up when I got it back. The cops tried to drive in the car from behind when it was driving from the chase.
Yeah.
So it was that bad that the police car got damaged, but my car had only scratches, and those scratches went away by polishing the car. But I actually seen the police car afterwards with damage on. Can
those cop cars keep up with you guys at all? Like, what's the horsepower on them?
I would say now it's a dead game, man. If you do it now, it's so dangerous to do it now. The police cars now in Sweden are very like high-end engines. In the new V90 Volvo, it's a beast. We always know that the cops had like special civilian cars, like a Mercedes C63. They had like a BMW with a big diesel engine, and those are like, if they're gonna come behind you, it's gonna be like a real chase. Because the funny fact is, the cop drivers are actually, in a legal way, how do you say, trained race drivers.
Right.
But the guys behind the scenes here are used like, how do you say, as a hobby,
It's like it's an amateur almost.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the cops are actually training on tracks, and they have experience and like.
I would say the main drivers in the movie would be, if you have those in police cars, the drivers from the movie, you're gonna be fucked, man.
If people are looking to join these communities, is there like an underground back door? Like, how would you? The point is, like, how would you even get involved? Like.
We had pure luck, man.
Yeah,
okay. We noticed for a long time about Highway, before even I was involved in the third movie. I saw Mr. Highway on a gas station, so I had my car and I pulled up to him and said, "We can drive," and he was like, "So here's my number. Let's meet up in this parking spot in about 20 minutes, and we see what's happening from there." So we came there. We met some of the crew members and. Actually, one of his guys, who was like the best driver then, said, "I'm going to drive your car and see if it's actually capable of driving." He drove the car. He was shit. My friend drove the car, and they was like, this is going to be something different. So he said, give me 2 days. I reach out to you and we meet up. We set up the cameras and we used to go out and go for a spin. Used to go for a spin and see how it looked with the cameras. We put on the cameras, and that was the chase you saw there. when we drive in front of the cops.
Have you ever had an experience that was maybe too close for comfort where you almost didn't get away? Or not you, but in terms of...
Oh, yeah, when the car was pounded by the cops.
Yeah.
That was a long run, man. I had to run very, very long. Yeah, for sure. Not really particularly in that car, but I had like an older BMW E34 with a V8 engine, and that was like almost the cops could catch up on you. But those cars you can drive in 300. So I think the record behind the wheel for me is about 321 kilometers exactly.
You were going. Jesus Christ. And like you were saying, you thought about, okay, should we, like, this community, should we do it in France, Germany? But, I mean, the advantage...
We had so many ideas, man.
But, I mean, the advantage of you doing it in, let's say, Sweden, isn't a big part of it that you know the roads?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We all been on this road since we were kids.
So you know where you can accelerate every corner?
Most definitely, yeah. So even though we even had, like, I remember Mr. Highway, he is the legend himself about, like, coordinating. So when we had driver behind the wheel with cameras on and cops behind, he's saying, like, you're going to turn here in 500 meters and you're going to go here and then we're going to go up here and spin around. He knows all the roads in Stockholm and on the south side.
Yeah.
But if the helicopter comes out, it's going to be a tough move.
Has that happened?
Not for me though.
No.
Not for me. I've heard some things now since I left Sweden about some other guys related to the movie. And we also have people from Getaway Stockholm back in the 90s and 2000 who had helicopters behind them.
What why would the police bring out the helicopter?
Usually the helicopter comes if they're already out doing something.
Okay, so they're not going to start the thing up. Yeah,
they could do if it's... I think now they could do it because now the cops are really like, they're going to stop the car no matter what. They're going to do whatever it takes. But back in the days, they actually gave up because you drive so fast, they cannot find you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just noticed we had a racing game in the background. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's dope.
All right. So you did this. When did you kind of leave this life, and what led you to leave this life and move on to better things?
I think the group behind the scenes from the beginning has always been. It's never been like a healthy, tight group. It's been a very unhealthy, broken group. People. Everyone has had issues, self issues, and it's been very, very broken for a long time. Even when I came in, it was very bad. Very bad.
Yeah, because for yourself, you're still quite young.
Yeah, when I was involved in this, I was only 15, 16.
Yeah. And you're still quite young without revealing your age too much. But at this point in time, I mean, people are doing this for the adrenaline rush, and it's not for monetary gain. So, maybe you want to move your ankle down.
Oh, sorry.
And anyways, it's on me. Doesn't matter. Just to help you in case.
Yeah.
So as there was a monetary gain in this community, now you're in Phuket. You're telling us, hey, you're well off. You're doing well. Are you able to share with us of what did you do to make yourself successful? Are you allowed to share that with the audience?
I was fucking broke in the end. I actually sold my car, invested. As I told you, always been wanting to chase money. Yeah? So the selling cars was nothing in the long run that was working. I actually got caught up having different kind of addiction of substances, alcohol and stuff that made me lose like most of my money. I was completely on the bottom, had no money, nothing, no one to support me financially. My parents, especially my mom, supported me a lot during that time with financial and places to stay. And even though I was so young, you still have child custody. You have to take care of your child. I think for me now, how do you say it?
Saving grace? Like what saved you?
Has literally been crypto.
Okay.
So I invested when I was 17. I sold my car I had like 2 Segways. You know Segway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had with like a seat on it. So you were sitting like an old man on it. I had 2 of them. I sold like a motorbike and I sold my car, and I got knowledge about some people in Hua Hin in Thailand who were flying over to Malaysia, and they have discovered like this new cryptocurrency company who are completely independent. They were trying to do the same as like Binance is doing now with exchange and all that kind of stuff. I was so sold on it. I invested about 50 grand on it, US dollars. I lost everything. By that time it was like either it's suicide or I don't know, I'm working at McDonald's. So I always had a long story in Thailand since my family had 2 houses here since I was a child. So I went here. Started to meet some people, and I was back then I was still on a tourist visa.
What year is this?
This was 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went to Thailand 2019. I got, as I told you, I got broke from the end of 2017 to 18. So I was about 1 year in Sweden with no money, like almost homeless, nothing. I got some money. I went to Thailand. It's cheap to stay here. Would you think so, at least?
Yeah.
By that time, but before you live here.
Depends on the lifestyle you want, right?
So I made another investment in crypto. I invested like in Solana. I invested in a company called AVAX.
Yep.
And that way straight up to the moon, man.
You got in very early. Like, what was the market cap when you got in?
I don't even remember.
Like the beginning almost.
I can't remember, man. I smoked too much marijuana by that time.
Okay.
And I was also in a heavily accident 2019 when I was crossing a road inside Stockholm and a taxi drove way too quick and actually hit I'm so tall, I'm almost 2 meters. He hit my kneecaps, I flew up in the air, and I somehow landed on my back head and my front head. So I was like, I had memory losses for a long time and I had problem with my spine and stuff, but for now, I'm fucking happy to be able to stand on my feet. I'm completely healthy, I'm normal. I lost a lot of weight though, but we're getting back there. Crypto was that was the thing that saved me.
Now, after the accident, then you kind of came to Thailand and you...
Yeah, that was like, I cannot stay anymore because I'm broke. I have it's not fun to be around in the cold when you have this accident. So after that, of course, in between, I had like, I don't want to go too deep in it. I had like a small work about renting out electric scooters inside Stockholm. You have seen in Europe, the scooters you stand on?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the companies was just starting up. They needed a team leader. So thanks to Mr. Highway, I got shout out to him, by the way. He hooked me up on that work. I worked there, but I couldn't work for so long due to my injury. So I decided to go to Thailand since I had free to stay here in one of my parents' house.
Yep.
And my dad lended me about $1,000 to stay here for like maintaining myself, but I invested all in crypto. Because people say like, oh, you can do crypto and you can do this and this online. And I feel like I should give it a second chance because I always heard the people who lose the first time when doing these kind of investments online, when they do the second one in crypto, that's where they win. And I was doing it and I made some good profit in the first run. I reinvested it and I'm still gaining profit until today and 3 years later. And
this was still the Solana or what other currencies were you all over the place?
I remember when I was investing in a little bit in Bitcoin, and then I just realized the people who invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum are like, they don't understand it. That's how I see it. You're not gonna make any money on that.
Not anymore. No.
If you made money like I did on Solana and AVAX by that time, you already feel like you have to find the lower caps when you get inside. If you go into these large market caps, you're gonna make the people who invested many years behind you rich, but you're not gonna make any money. And I want to make quick money and large amounts of money.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in Ethereum's at 3,000 today. I mean, let's be honest.
Of course, you can make some money in Ethereum. Ethereum is going to be like a purchase method, even for NFT. You can already see how it works. But what we use for Bitcoin? We have Bitcoin in El Salvador for payments, but we're not going to use it in Europe. I don't think we're going to use it in America either.
Yeah, I think it will probably be more like a digital gold. And I think this one, the good thing about the Bitcoin, I feel, is that once it's all mined, the big holders are just going to like manipulate the market, and this thing's going to be worth $250,000, and it's just going to be a hold. But yeah, Ethereum's interesting because it's almost like a software and a blockchain and a coin. So I think Ethereum and Solana, they're going to start being used more like a software, like as you see with NFTs. Yeah. So for yourself now, you've recently come to Phuket. You've left Hua Hin. Are you planning on staying here, or what's your plan?
I left Hua Hin. I moved to Bangkok. I actually started to invest in exporting, global export to West Africa.
Okay.
With a Thai company. Didn't work out so well. So left Bangkok, back to Hua Hin. So tired of staying there. I'm used working. I'm not really like entertaining myself in the party industry or anything. I've just been like low key, trying to stack as much money as possible, and eventually I got in my mind like I need to go somewhere else. Cannot stay in Hua Hin. So I moved. I tried Pattaya for 2 months.
It's crazy.
Like the worst thing ever, man. I actually live in Jomtien, not even inside Pattaya. I went inside Pattaya like 3 or 4 times. I can't stay there. So I find a company who could transport all my shit, my car, my dog. I have like a big home gym as well. Because when the lockdown came, I have been since 7th of March 2020. I've been permanent, because 2019 I was still traveling to Spain and Sweden and Denmark in between for holiday. But after the 7th of March 2020, I've been permanent in Thailand. So when the lockdowns came, I decided to invest in like a bigger home gym. So every lockdown that came, I buy more stuff. So now in the end, I have so much stuff. I need to pay so much money to transport it to where I'm going to move. So first I transported from Hua Hin to Pattaya, and then from Pattaya to Phuket.
And was there a reason for that? Like, why not just go to the gyms, or because they were locked down as well?
Of course, I think the gym is much better. But since I'm staying so much home and working from home, I find it more convenient for me to work out at home as well.
And you came down here. Are you by yourself? Are you with family, friends, or how are you operating?
I'm with my dog.
Okay, and this is I won't go into where you're living and all that, but what's your plan for Phuket? Do you plan to stay here a while?
I have many business plans, man. I want to open a food truck selling hamburgers. I already have people who want to join this with me. I have some other plans. I don't want to go into too much detail about it, since I want to keep it a secret until it's being revealed. But my main focus now is just I find a nice place very remotely inside the jungle I'm living now, away from all the tourists and all that crap. So I think I'm just doing the regular. I'm just trying to stack as much money as I can, and when I feel the time has come, I'm going to do some business here,
Yeah, I got a Swedish friend that owns Prime Burger. Do you know Prime Burger?
I've tried Prime Burger.
This is Tobias. Shout out Prime Burger. I think it's fucking awesome.
It is good.
He had a food truck up at Blue Tree, but then COVID hit. Sorry, the C word hit. We don't like YouTube to ban us. But now he's got an operation in Rawai and I believe Patong, and he had one in Bangkok and Pattaya as well. Go check it out. It's fucking awesome. So you're thinking about maybe to do kind of a burger truck as well, something mobile, or would it be fixed?
To be honest, man, I want to be the winner when it comes to the meat. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I try many burger places. Some of them are good. I think in Sweden we have a very large community of hamburger lovers. I think that's where it comes from beginning, to have like this.
Well, you have a Prime Burger in Sweden, I'm pretty sure, right? Like, but it's not his chain.
Yeah. We have.
It's not his chain. He told me that. It's like he just took the idea from Sweden and brought it here. But there's an actual real Prime Burger, I think, in Sweden.
I think it is, yeah. I've never tried it, though, to be honest.
And when do you think that could come to life?
Could possibly taking place tomorrow if I'm on it. But I just moved here. It's been a lot of moving for me.
Yeah.
And especially for me doing everything by myself, only my age. I'm only 22. Sometimes I even forget that. It's a lot of things. Just getting your visa done, getting your, like, when you set up your own company in your name, and like all these things is a big headache of staying here.
Yeah, and it's a lot of, like, loops to figure out, and when you're doing it on your own, definitely. Especially if you don't have a Thai person next to you to really help you.
I had some Thai people helping me, but in the long run, you need to get your shit done by yourself most of the times. That's how I experience it.
What are your thoughts on a comparison between Hua Hin, Pattaya, Phuket, Bangkok? Talk a bit about that. What are the differences? What do you like? What don't you like?
Well, I think Hua Hin is, like everyone says, it's quiet. for me, it feels like exactly like home. It feels as much home as Sweden, since first time I stepped into a hin was like 2005 in a construction ground where my house was building, you know. I still remember it until today. Hua Hin is always going to be my home. Even Cham, we had a house there too on the beach when I was a kid. It felt too much home, you know. The same thing, you want to get away. Like, I think most people stay in Thailand and want to get away from their country.
I just want to get away from the cold.
Oh, yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, most definitely. But if we compare it to Pattaya, I felt Pattaya is bigger. It's a little bit more infrastructure, maybe too much. It's overcrowded with old men, and I think it's leaning more towards the party side. Not really my thing, not anymore. But if you ask me now, I think Phuket is the best, man.
Yeah.
I want to be as close as possible to nature, which I am now. It was fucking hard for me to find this house from staying now. I find one literally inside the jungle with only one neighbor, which is, I'm very happy for that.
Yeah, it's hard in Phuket to find like the best location of what's going to be.
And I came now when the high season is like at its finest top, you know. Everyone say, oh, the price now, it's because of high season and this and that. So it's been very hard to negotiate with different agents, and as soon as a good house come out on the marketplace, right away it's taken away by someone else before you.
Yeah, and I think they always talk about high season, but I never really felt it.
It's just a way to
make up, because it's not. And a lot of the Russians are leaving now because of the whole war.
Yeah, I know. So maybe it's a good time not to rent if you want to rent.
I think so. Yeah, I think a lot of them are. It's the prices will go down as well. Let's jump back to the getaway driving and that community as well. Did you connect with other communities in other countries, or did you guys kind of just stick together and do your thing? Oh,
yeah, for sure. It's been, when we released the third movie, it's been very public on Facebook and Instagram, and people have been talking it in many countries. We had a large fan base in Russia, Spain. We had literally everywhere, even America. We had so many places and continents who has been supporting and showing a lot of love to what we have been doing.
Do you see this not you specifically, but does this exist in Thailand, maybe with the Thai community doing similar things as well, or you haven't seen it here?
I think I've seen like hobby-style cars for drifting. Mm-hmm. That's what I've been seeing. But I haven't seen like any high-end cars driving in the way like we have been doing in the same way, no. I think the road are not even so good here to do it.
It's not too, well, I don't know if I'll go into detail. Yeah, it's okay on that. It's not too bad because actually it's funny. When you leave the island here and go to Kalak,
the road is good, yeah.
The road's amazing.
Yeah.
Because
but I think if the cops chase you here, you're going to have a 9mm in the window or on the motorbike behind you.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Especially if you're driving like violent driving on the road, you're going
to get in trouble.
And it's so many motorbikes here with kids and families on with no helmet, so I think it's a very dumb thing to risk that.
Yeah, too dangerous. They can just come out of nowhere.
And we have been driving like on late Sundays or, you know, when everyone is asleep in Sweden. You don't risk anyone's life.
Yeah. Do you see yourself ever going back to that lifestyle?
Never.
Because like you said, there's an adrenaline rush to it as well. So, I mean...
for sure. I think I find that find easy ways for me to make large amounts of money. That is always my number one priority. To make as much money as possible in the easy way as possible.
There's more adrenaline
I am never happy by myself. Never. Even if I make 50,000 baht a day, I'm not happy. I'm never going to be happy.
Do you think that you'll continue like that into as you turn, get older, 30, 40? Because like they said, I mean, chasing money, it's great and all, but if you don't have an end goal, you're just going to keep chasing that purple dragon. I mean,
I think maybe that's one of the reasons why I moved here from the beginning to Phuket, because I feel it's more peaceful here in the way I want to live, like in the jungle and stuff. I think with time, stuff can be better, yeah.
Do you see yourself getting more back with nature by living in the jungle? Meaning, are you going to really try to understand nature, watch some YouTube, understand what is going on in your surrounding as well, and how to live in that environment?
I think both yes and no, yeah.
Like, because even
I think with time now, it's gonna be more and more connected with me, especially living in the jungle in this house I'm living in. I think with time it's gonna be better and better. But as I told you, it's been stressful moments for me to move so much as I've been doing. I never feel like I find my home sweet spot yet. So I hope this is gonna be it.
do you plan to do some of your own, like, I don't want to just say gardening, but growing your own maybe vegetables, fruit, and just kind of because by living in your location, it can make sense.
Most definitely would be something I would do in the future, yeah, but not for now.
Now you're just focused on your these businesses. Do you have any crypto advice for anyone out there? Something that you're looking at, or are you kind of already holding and you're stable?
I think the first one would be never invest in Bitcoin.
No.
Yeah. Ethereum, no comments. And I think for the second one is everyone gonna lose. No one is just gonna invest and then the market is just gonna take you up here and then you can buy your Lambo.
No.
It's gonna be a long way, man. And I think everyone has to go through these losses to see some achievements. That's my biggest advice. From the time you lose, you have to keep going. Because when you give up, the loss is gonna be taking over you. Most definitely.
Yeah, you don't want that to eat you alive either. Do you have any like smaller market cap coins? Anything you're looking at now?
The graph, I've been holding it for a while. I would say my top, if you ask my top three what I'm holding, I would say number one is Moon River. Have you heard about it? I also hold a large amount of Matic, Polygon.
Polygon, yeah.
I also hold a lot of Phantom, Super Farm. I would say like the lower caps, I would say like, I don't know the cap of the graph.
I'm not sure, no.
Oh.
Well, Polygon's up there now. It's layer 2 over the Ethereum blockchain.
How many coins do you hold yourself?
Me, all Ethereum. I can't
most Ethereum
disclose too much. Yeah, all Ethereum because I see a lot of people have like I don't believe in diversification because I kind of come from this Warren Buffett mentality. It's like why the fuck would I invest in 30 different projects? Because
I know.
I don't like this. I like the mentality of you know how hard it is to find 30 winners.
Yeah.
So by picking 30, you're just saying, well, for sure I'm losing a bunch of these. So for me, my mentality is I like to pick 1 or 2 winners and I go all in.
Yeah, I've actually changed strategy with time a lot. In the beginning, when I was gaining money, I was like, I need to buy everything. So I was spreading out. But the thing is, I never spread out like $30, $50.
No.
I put like large amounts of money because I had money to invest. So I put it like literally everywhere until the point all my money is in crypto.
Yeah.
So as soon as I need to buy something, I just go to BitCube and I withdraw it in Thai baht.
Yeah, so at least now you're connected to BitCub, and there's no.
I'm also heavily invested in BitCube. I have a lot of money in BitCube. I own Cube, a lot of
Cube coin.
I think they're going to 1,000 baht this year.
You think so?
I think so.
Yeah, and that could also be
literally. One of my friends told me yesterday. He called me and like, oh, dude, I lose like. I have Bitcoin. I was sending it through this Thai exchange. He told me about it all the time because when you say you should use Bitcoin, people say, oh, no, it's so hard to register. You need to use your passport. And I even had to show how much I paid in tax because of my work permit.
You need a work permit. That's the only way you can open now.
I don't think you can do because I heard some people, even from like, how do you say it, low developed countries who have used tourist visa.
Really?
Yeah.
But that could have been before. See, I tried to open, but now it's showing you need a work permit.
You don't have it?
Won't let me open. How I move my money around is a bit different.
Oh, okay, dude. I understand.
I'm all DeFi.
I would also say a good advice is gaming crypto. That is gonna be
like Sand, Mana.
I wouldn't invest in Sand or Mana. To be honest, I have about $500 in Sand. That's it.
Yeah, I've been watching Sand. The reason why I'm interested in it is because it's around $3, I think $3.20, but the all-time high was 8.5, and it's kind of following Ethereum. So Ethereum's at 3. I think Ethereum 3,000. I think Ethereum, if it goes to 5, well, it's not doubling, but for sure Sand will double to triple.
Of course, if you want to have like a safe investment with low risk, of course, Sand, Mana, Engine, ADA. I would never look at my eyes at ADA. Never.
You're looking for those low market caps and trying to go.
I'm into pure gamble, man. And if you ask me for like a safe investment, I would say Matic, all in on Matic or Phantom or.
Is Phantom representing the Phantom wallet? Or is that the same company and the same coin?
Dude, I don't even know.
Because Phantom wallet is like, MetaMask, right?
I have MetaMask.
Because Phantom is, I think it's for Solana network. That's why. You can use the Phantom hot wallet on the Solana.
To be honest, sometimes I
blockchain.
don't even look so much about technology behind a coin. For me, I'm looking more towards, is people going to invest in this? If I feel like, no, when people read about this, they're not going to feel it's nothing convenient to invest in, I'm not going to do it.
How do you do your research when you're trying to pick a winner?
Oh, hard to say, man. I'm in different state of mind when I'm in that position. Sometimes I do losses, but most of the times I'm doing wins.
I mean, like when you're going to put your money into a coin with a low market cap, are you reading white papers or are you kind of just gambling?
I'm reading some white papers, yeah, but I also consult with different people, what other people investing in and stuff like that, or like sponsorships and stuff.
Where do you see the entire crypto market moving in the next 6 months? Do you think it's going to make a comeback?
I think it's going to make a large comeback with the metaverse, meta, gaming. I think this thing's going to blow up in the next 20 months. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, I agree as well. Even though it's so crazy to think that the gaming world is going to make money, I think it's quite evident that it will, because one of the biggest things happening now is EA Sports on gaming, where like some of the kids playing Fortnite in those stadiums are making $5 million, $10 million. They're making more money than anyone else out there now. Yeah. And those events are fucking huge, man. So I think that's a good indicator of what's to come.
Most definitely. I think gaming crypto is going to take over. And some people are not even looking at it. They're just looking at the top 10 coins, like, what should I invest in? I think that's the completely wrong strategy.
Are you talking about gaming metaverses or gaming coins?
Gaming coins and gaming metaverses.
Which one? Like Axie Infinity?
I think that's a too large market cap for me. I'm not a big fan of Axie. I think the game is shit, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think Engine is a much better choice if you want to go like something on the top list of cryptos with those caps. I will go with Engine.
Those metaverses, now essentially the land in there, that is NFTs. Are you starting to look into NFTs?
I actually hold 2 NFTs from the jungle. It's called Destroyer, the one Mark Cobain invested in.
I'd have to check. The problem is there's so many.
Yeah, that's
that
the
like
thing.
Everyone has one, and then
I've been trying to. I have some knowledge. I know how to buy it. I know some products that people tell me like you should buy this, and I said no. I'm too focused on crypto now. I don't have time. And then I see they make like 10, 15x their money in a day.
Yeah. So
of course the thought is there about starting to do it. But as for now, I'm so busy doing research about crypto, and I feel some people have chosen between crypto and NFT. I don't hear so many people close to me who are like heavily invested in both or like doing regular money in both. So I think for me now, I should stick to where I make my money, and that is crypto.
Yeah, and if that's what you're confident in as well, the NFT world, like one day in the metaverse or dealing with NFTs feels like a week in real life. Like it is so, it's so draining.
I think Sand is gonna definitely come back at the top, very top. But I think in the same time, it's not really that impressive. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's just because you get these guys like Snoop Dogg and Steve Aoki.
I think those are the people who lead it, yeah.
See, now, where I think I don't want to call them scams or whatnot, but I mean, when you got guys like Snoop Dogg buying all this land, did he really buy it? Or is it a marketing scam that Sand is giving him the land? Do you know what So I'm very skeptical about these promotional, celebrity buys this lamb, celebrity buys that lamb.
Or this NFT or
I feel there's a bit of a couple loopholes there where it's like, did that celebrity buy that NFT or did they airdrop it or give them the Ethereum to buy it?
I think most of them are airdrops.
I think so.
Yeah,
I really
most
do.
Definitely.
Yeah, I really do.
Yeah,
I do. Now we'll go back to the lifestyle living in Phuket, because this part of the show or this part of the segment, whatever, we like to ask everyone, what is a typical day for you? What time are you getting up in the morning? Can you just walk us through your day so we can understand your routine?
Yeah. So I wake up 6:45, but I have actually my neighbor next door, and then it's called concrete, yeah?
Yeah.
On the street, we have it's not a temple, but it's a praying spot. So people gathering there to pray from 6:45 to 8 in the morning. So I wake up exactly when they start to pray every morning. I get up, I take down my dog from the hill to walk. I get up from the hill again, takes me about an hour. So I'm not eating anything from wake up. So I get up to the mountain again about 9 to my house, doing breakfast. By 10, I'm starting to do research and look at how the market is going. Sometimes even look at the market as soon as I wake up, just to know if I have any time to take profits or invest. I'm always ready.
And
after that, I told you I'm heavily invested now in my home gym. I'm actually continue investing in this. And I feel in the end, I will not be able to leave this place since it's going to be so much equipment. I just got my new cable machine sent from Bangkok. So I'm doing like my exercise between 10 to 12, somewhere in between there for an hour. And then I have like a shake, and then I'm starting to get in my meals. I'm trying to gain some more weight now since I lost so much through my accident. So I'm trying to get in between 5 to 6 meals per day.
Oh, shit.
Shout out to Pure Prep, by the way, and why they're the best.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about them.
They're so good, man.
I don't know if they would deliver this far, though.
They deliver, this far, I don't know, but they deliver to me, though, and I live pretty far away.
And are you living off Pure Prep? Like most of your meals?
I actually cook a lot of food at home, like plant-based food, actually.
Yeah.
I do.
Are you a meat eater, or are you?
I am definitely a meat eater,
Okay.
but I think when you find these solutions where you can eat plant-based with like more protein containing in certain things than meat, I think that's a better choice.
Yeah, you just the gut health. You feel a bit more
Most
bloated.
Yeah. I don't eat any like spicy food though.
It's hard. The Thai spice, that chili is
It's different.
It's another level. I can handle it, but just the next day,
Yeah, that's the
stomach
problem.
turns.
That's the problem.
I'm okay when I
Yeah.
eat it. It's just the next day I'm like, fuck,
And that's gonna
man.
make me caught up by just having that issue the whole day, then.
Yeah, and then I find that next day you don't eat well, and then it
Yeah, I
fucks up.
know.
Yeah,
And after my gym, I'm like, usually, as I told you, I don't have any other work since I don't need to work. I just do my like taking profits or reinvesting into things. Or some days I'm barely doing nothing than just trying to maintain my health. I do a lot of exercise with my dog too. I take my car and we can go to different places to walk and stuff. And yeah, I'm also doing a lot of planning now about businesses I want to do here. I still don't want to reveal it, but
Yep.
I have a lot of plans coming. So in between all, maybe we can call that a work actually. Between all of that, I'm trying to do as much research that I can of crypto and upgrade my lifestyle as best as I can with things.
Have you got into any meditation here on the island? Because I find a lot of people that come to Thailand because of the Buddhist culture that
Yeah, I
they
know.
start to move towards meditation, even if that's as simple as laying in your bed in your morning and thinking about your day.
I'm actually looking now to order a customized ice tub.
Oh, so for cold baths.
Yeah, for cold
Yeah, yeah.
baths with so I can put it with like how do you say an engine? So we can go to like minus degrees. So you can get like literally the coldest water ever.
Fucking hell.
That's what I'm trying to order here now.
Yeah, well, let me know. I'd be interested in that. I got my
For sure, man.
bathtub in there.
We could grab a beer inside it if you want.
Yeah, for sure. I went to a place 2 days ago. It's up the road. It's not that cold. It's called Lemonade. I think it's called Lemonade. They got like an herbal steam room and
They have an ice bath.
an ice bath, but it's only like
Ice bath's
10,
amazing.
it's only
man.
like 10. So it's not really an ice bath.
I want like literally like minus or 0 degrees. I want that
Well,
one.
those are the ones I find especially like I get a lot of knee pain because I played a lot of hockey when I was a kid, and like some days if I'm at the gym I can't do squats. Like my knees just inflame for no fucking reason. But I can feel it like when I go in those ice baths, like you can feel the pain in your knee, but actually that's just the ice doing its work.
Yeah,
And it's like
I
taking
understand.
the inflammation out, and it's great, man.
It makes me feel so relieved.
Yeah.
It sometimes can be a lot of stress doing what I'm doing with this crypto and managing different things all by myself. It can be very stressful. Can get you very anxious in the evening, you know.
Yeah.
To be honest, money makes me anxious, man.
Well, I think it makes everyone anxious, especially it depends. It sounds like you're more day trading crypto, or are you kind of mixing day trading and holding?
I have three Binance accounts what
Yeah.
I'm using. I also have a local store wallet as well, but I find it much easier to use Binance, even though I know it's really bad to store large amounts of money on exchanges.
Yeah.
But I have like I also have 3 phones, so I have one phone only particularly for holding, and I have for swing trading as well. That's basically what I'm doing.
Are you planning? Would you ever move over to like cold storage, Nano Ledgers, Ledger Nano X?
I have looked a little bit about it, but I feel now I've always been looking for something what I can like do for a long time, and I think I find that now. So I still want to continue doing what I'm doing now.
See, I've always like I plan to get BitCub. I'll get that going soon. But I feel like exchanges, in my opinion, will just be used for on and off boarding. Meaning you have your cold storage, you onboard, and you get the fuck off right away. Because if anything happens on those exchanges, you don't have control. You're so fucked.
I know. I think
and that
about
scares
it,
me,
like,
man.
Yeah, that scares me too, to be honest.
Like,
I think about it often.
Because how do we not know that someone hacks into Binance? Now,
I know.
Knowing the only way they could get you on your ledger is a 24-word password. But if you never put that on your phone and you never put that, you keep it, you can buy these like metal plates.
Yeah.
There's no way you can get hacked. The only thing that does scare me is when quantum computing comes out. Because if quantum computing comes out in the next couple of years, they could literally hack every single fucking ledger.
I've heard some people actually got all their money wiped out
For
on
sure.
Binance. Yeah.
On Binance, yeah.
Yeah, Binance many times. And I every time I have like even though I have so many calls from BitCube when they say like, hello, I can't say my name, but they ask like, is this your money or you're gonna take out this money? They have so many questions. And even my last deposit into BitCub was a couple of 100,000, and that money didn't go into my account. So I tried to call the support. It's about 9 p.m. Takes me an hour to get there, sitting there sweating because it's a lot of money. And it's some guy answering, sounds like he's sitting like in a basement toilet, can barely hear him, no connection. He's like, oh, I'm gonna try solve it for you. Dude, that was like, this is the last time I'm using BitCub. I can't handle this stress. I can't.
That's the anxiety right there. Yeah, I know. I just dealing with anything on crypto when you're doing like the process and it says processing. Fuck you.
I think if you're gonna deposit money to an exchange, never deposit everything at once. Like my friend did yesterday, and he told me until today he lost a half Bitcoin using a Thai exchange. I don't know the name of the exchange though, but I know it's like it's not as famous as BitCube, but it's some kind of Thai exchange.
So just do incremental parts at a time as well.
Well, if the transaction fee is almost nothing, I think the BitCube deposit fee, I think I paid 20 baht. So I wouldn't mind if I'm gonna deposit $1 million, I would probably do it 300,000 ahead or something like that. Yeah. Nothing at the same time. I'm not gonna do that again. Never.
No. It's too scary, especially if anything goes wrong there.
And the thing is, Swedish banks they don't like the users to use crypto. So I'm trying to not use my bank as much as possible with deposits and withdrawals. Yeah,
and also separating yourself from that as well. You don't want to be too attached. Going back to the getaway driving as well. Personally, from yourself. And that experience developing you as who you are today, what are some takeaways of how that has developed you, maybe for the positive?
I think it's deposited me in many good ways. My early, terrible lifestyle as a child, I think for now, it's been very good. I gained a lot of experience through the years, even though to my age. I think it's only been doing me good now. I think if I've been going to the school, I would have ended up like all the other people I went to school with. And they're like just going to be a regular worker now and not do so much.
Yeah, and for someone like yourself that you didn't go through the educational system or even
high school,
university, nothing. You're still, how did you...
I'm still uneducated.
Yeah, but you still must educate yourself.
Of course.
How are you doing?
How do you say it? Street knowledge.
Street knowledge.
Yeah.
Are you investing?
I think the street knowledge had made me come very far. Very far.
Which is probably more valuable than any system's going to give you.
I would say so. I think these high price educations are literally scams because usually in the end, for me at least, it's only about money. In the end, you're not going to make so much money. Only a few percentage going to do it. And the other people are going to be, okay, I'm taking this job and I'm just going to manage by doing this. I try to put a lot of my friends on money because close people to me, I only keep certain amount of people close to me now who barely no one knows what I'm doing in Thailand, even of my old friends. No one knows. I just left everything and I've been grinding on my own. But the people I'm still contacting with, everyone having a shit life, man. Especially Sweden now is in a bad position economically and with crime rates and everything. It's no jobs. You cannot live anywhere. Many people turn homeless, and it's either prison, homeless, or like addiction, you know. Or some people just get like a simple job with a small amount of salary.
Yeah, and then you can barely survive, especially working
That's
a 9
the
to
thing.
5.
And I've even told people, I can teach you to make this and this kind of money with this kind of money. And I think people are too scared to do it. Because even if I tell someone to try invest this or try to move abroad or do this, people are too scared to take risks. But I'm all about taking risks. I'm taking risks daily about everything. As soon as I put on my seatbelt in my car to go somewhere, I'm putting a risk. As soon as I invest or literally anything I do,
but they're calculated risks, which is the difference. I mean, you're, again, like you said, you're spending at 10 a.m., you're getting up, you're doing your research. You're not just jumping onto any exchange and just clicking on tokens.
Oh, no. I have like a path that I'm following, yeah.
Did you study technical analysis in terms of reading Japanese candlesticks?
Yeah, I looked a little bit through it. No, man, I will say I'm terrible at it.
Especially understanding your entry and exit points. How do you determine that?
I think my exit points are purely based on feeling. And I've been going good so far. Even so far, I can support my family, and even I've supported close relatives to me. So I think I'm just going to stick to my same strategy.
Yeah, and I mean, and if it's not broke, don't fix it. And if it's working for you,
I think for me, it's been actually very easy with this. In the long run with crypto now, once I got through the hard steps about losing and this and some things, it's been very smooth.
Do you see yourself getting outside of crypto? Like you said, you wanted to start possibly, like, let's say, a hamburger truck, and you have other ideas too you don't want to explain.
I would say that is like that can happen literally any day now.
Yeah,
I'm already looking at trucks, and I have people who can provide me with different kind of things, and we looking at paperwork and stuff. I have some people I'm working with also about some things in Thailand when it comes to how do you say it? Implementing our ideas to an actual business. Yeah, so I got the investors and everything for those things. But I would say the burger place now is the burger truck is the closest thing for me to launch compared to the other ideas we have.
If you have any friends back home that are watching, or just in general, the people of Sweden, listening to your story and how you've risked it all. You went from zero to hero. You've made this comeback. What would you tell them is the best part about living in Thailand? Because you've chose this country for a reason. Why live in Thailand?
Well, I think for me, in the beginning, it was that it was the most convenient because I had, how do you say it, some roots here from my childhood and the houses, but they all sold also. So I wouldn't say like, oh, I can stay here for free. I cannot stay for free anywhere now. I would say the lifestyle here now, if I never left Sweden, it would be very bad for me. It would be most terrible for me. I think I always been like, between the people I know, I've always been like the guy who always steps out of the line, who go like the furthest of doing something bad. So I think for me, staying here now has been my literally my saving. And I will say the same for the people that I know today that is broke over a normal limit of age to stay at your mom's house, staying in your old bedroom and not motivated to make any kind of money, and just living day by day about seeing some other broke friends on the weekend, drinking alcohol together in someone's mom's apartment when your mom is not home. I would say literally, man, you have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to take risks. People are too afraid to take risks. And I think many people in Sweden, they're like, oh my God, just leaving like the community I'm living in is too far for them. But I think I'm living proof that if I can do it by 22, I think most of the people I know that's way older than me in Sweden can do it too. Because I know people that's way older than me and having a shit time right now. And I've been trying to motivate many people around me to do things, man. I've been trying to help them with many things to get money. No one want to do it.
I think that was very well said and wise words for such a young age. And I think on that note, we should end the podcast because that was perfect. And let's see how close I was on time. 1 hour, 17 minutes.
25.
Fuck, perfect timing. I always jump in at the right time. I think that's the best way to end the podcast.
I think so
that's
too.
that's the clip. Put that at the beginning. Timestamp that one. Motivational. We got Swedish David Goggins over here. That's the you watch that guy David Goggins?
No.
Oh, this guy's crazy, man. He's always on Rogan. Anyways, let's end there. We are not going to give out his Instagram handle, but we are going to give out the YouTube where you can find those videos. So I'm speaking to this camera. We're going to cut. This is your camera here. If you want to give some information on where people can find more about, let's say, about getaway driving or anything you want to share besides your personal information, go.
I think most people use Instagram, so go on Instagram and type in Highway Official. Highway Official. That's where you're going to find it. And if you want to see the upcoming movie, which I hope going to be released, I think that's most definitely where you're going to follow that page. Highway Official.
Okay, perfect. That's the end of
By the way, shout out to drivers, Skurken, Fudlink, Mr. Highway himself, and Fraglan.
Can we take those guys on Instagram or are we going to get shot?
I think if you have enough knowledge
Okay.
or enough brain, you can find them yourself.
Okay, so everyone, you can check that out. Just do some, get your Google magic out. That kind of wraps up the podcast. We never know how to end these, so we're done.
Thank you for having me.
We're done. Yeah, thanks a lot for coming as well.
Thank
I think
you.
that was very informative. The time flew by. We touched crypto. We touched getaway driving. I think it was one of the more interesting ones for sure. Sick. All right, man. Awesome.
Thank you.